Water pollution in the UK. Water pollution increases water temperatures, lead to death, wildlife, disrupt habitats, toxic waste, poison wildlife, toxins transferred to humans if they eat the organisms in that, shellfish or fish, leading to birth defects and cancers, microbes, sewage, spread of infectious diseases, aquatic life, in aquatic life, animals and humans, pesticides kill important parts of the ecosystem, people whose livelihoods depend on a clean water supply, for example, fishermen or other workers, the tourist industry makes suffer, supply of drinking water can be poisoned, increased fertilisers can increase nutrients in water, speeding up the growth of algae and leading to eutrophication. This means there may not be sufficient oxygen in the water, so the wildlife will also die. The increased algae may also block the sunlight for the water plants. Wind power, advantages and disadvantages. Wind can be used for thousands of years as power sources for sailing ships and windmills. Huge wind turbines can generate the power can generate electricity from the power of wind. So I'll give 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages. Certain advantages: UK is one of the most windiest countries in the world. Wind turbines do not cause air pollution, generate 10% of the UK's electricity, no carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases given off, and wind power is cheaper to develop and running costs are very low because wind is free. And also the land underneath can be farmed. Disadvantages: electricity generated during storms can't be stored for calm weather. Wind unreliable, so turbines can't be stopped or turned on. They're expensive to build, although the amount of energy it produces will fix the cost of it. Coldest weather is often during calm weather, so it's not good for heating. And 7,000 turbines need to produce the same amount of electricity as one power station. Nuclear energy, 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages. Nuclear power is very cost effective. 1 tonne of uranium can produce much electricity as 2,500 tonnes of coal. Nuclear waste is minimal, can be stored safely underground. Nuclear power stations cost a lot safety is very important in nuclear power stations, accidents very unlikely. Without nuclear power, the world's fossil fuels, especially coal and oil, will eventually run out. Nuclear power is clean, emits no waste gases which pollute the atmosphere, worsen the greenhouse effect or produce acid rain. Disadvantages: there is always a risk of a nuclear accident. Getting rid of radioactive nuclear waste is very difficult and expensive. Nuclear waste remains radioactive for thousands of years and must be buried deep underground. Nuclear power stations cost a lot to build and are expensive to run. We don't need nuclear power. More efficient industry and energy-saving homes will reduce the need for electricity in the future, and renewable energy like wind farm. Fossil fuels are going to run out, and nuclear power resources are in abundance relative to the fossil fuels. As a result, the price of fossil fuels are increasing and releases more CO2 than nuclear. Worse the issue of climate change. So that's why it's a valuable energy resource. So in order to answer 6 marker, you need just look at the video, like how to answer them, and a 3 marker is to describe a trend. It's the general trend, what's happening with the graph, some statistics and dates, increased or decreased, compare them both, so one's as a higher or lower or something like that. Cardiff, there's a low population density, capital city, high rainfall, so it's not a capital city, so it's surplus deficit in London because it's a capital city, high population density, low rainfall, and deficit is caused by an increase in population or development in technology and human development. Water management in the UK. We need water for drinking, disposal of waste, washing, growing and processing food, industrial manufacturing. Increasing competition for water from food production, which becomes increasingly intensive. 75% of water used in the UK is used in industry. This includes production items such as cakes and cars. More than 1/5 of the world's population live in areas of water scarcity, where there's not enough water to meet all the demands. 1/3 of all world's population do not have access to drinking water. 20th century, water is seen as an infinite source, but now it's that was because it was half the population. As the population increasing is putting pressure on water supply. Urbanisation concentrated an increasing number of people into small areas, creating a huge amount of water for a limited area. Modern urban development, especially in NEE, do not always need to think ahead in terms of water. Much development is not planned, yet people require water supplies. The average person in the UK today uses 150 litres of water a day at home, of which only 4% is used for drinking. Water quality management in the UK. Education campaigns. These inform the public about damage caused by putting inappropriate items into the sewage system, such as engine oil, baby wipes, and advise how to dispose of those correctly. Legislation. The UK and EU have strict laws which ensure that factories and farms are limited in the amount of and type of discharge they put into rivers. Water companies which provide our drinking water and sewage systems have very clear regulations and penalties. Water waste treatments. Local water treatment plants remove suspended soil such as silt and soil, bacteria, algae, chemicals and minerals to produce clean water for human consumption. They use a number of processes to do this. Building better treatment plants and investing in new infrastructure. Better sewers and water mains can prevent spills and accidents, but can lead to higher water and sewage bills to pay for investment. For example, Thames Water in London is investing heavily in sewage works and new tunnels to prevent the overflow of current sewages. Green roofs and walls. In cities, new buildings have green roofs which filter out the pollutants naturally in rainwater. Green roofs also offer excellent sustainable water management. This reduces the risk of flooding by reducing runoff from the roof. Green roofs can also help to combat climate change by increasing the absorption of CO2 from the atmosphere. Pollution traps. For example, when new roads and motorways are built close to rivers and watercourses, pollution traps such as reed beds are often installed to catch and filter out the pollution. So the UK's energy mix, so fossil, nuclear and renewable. Fossil fuels. Coal, oil and natural gas make three fossil fuels. Formed over many thousands of years and they take so long to be replaced that they are regarded as non-renewable. In other words, they will run out. When burned, fossil fuels release carbon dioxide along with other greenhouse gases. Fossil fuels can be burnt directly to produce heat, and they can be used to generate electricity in power stations. Finally, they can be used to power vehicles and machinery. Nuclear energy is used uranium to produce heat in a nuclear reactor. This heat is then used to drive a turbine to make electricity. It's not a fossil fuel, but considered non-renewable as supplies of uranium are finite. Renewable energy. Renewable is a source of energy that sources that can be used again and again and will not run out, they're infinite. Sun, wind, waves, tides, running water and rivers, and geothermal heat to creates deep underground. Methane produced from landfill sites is also burnt to generate electricity from vegetation, biomass. The main problem with these energy sources is the cost for technology and the relatively small amounts of energy produced. However, they are so seen as clean and non-polluting.